right now, I'm not exactly sure, but mainly I'm kind of looking forward to Xbox a little bit, just because the Kinect is actually kind of interesting. I mean, like the first Kinect wasn't that great, but it's kind of interesting to see what they're gonna do now with it, just because how it's gonna be controlled by your voice and all that. But I'm not exactly sure how great it's gonna be, because maybe it'll be like maybe because like I don't know if you're gonna be like in a game, you're gonna be talking, and all of a sudden it'll just like switch over to something random because you said a word. So I don't know how accurate it's gonna be like in that way, but I mean, like,
it might be obtrusive.
Yeah, because it might be pretty cool though, because it looks like it's pretty good at what it's gonna do. So I mean, I don't game on the Kinect because it's kind of stupid, but yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, that's part of the reason why I'm going for the PS3, or I keep calling it the PS3, the PS4, because I don't really care for the Kinect. I don't own one for my Xbox. I don't use it. I don't really care for the whole voice or sound commands. I don't live in the past where clapping your lights on was cool.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that'd be a cool little party piece, but I don't feel like anybody would really care after a while.
Yeah.
I feel like you just use the controller.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly make the console. I mean, I'm not gonna buy it just for Kinect. But with the whole PS4 thing, they're having like there's a little bit more interesting because they have a light bar on their controller as well as a touchpad and a motion sensor, which is on the top. So I mean, game developers are gonna look at it and be like, say, the next Battlefield, they're gonna be like, hey, maybe we could use this for something, and so PlayStation users might have an advantage in that way, maybe.
Yeah.
So like, I want to see what they do with the touchpad too, because they could do some more stuff with that as well.
That's true. The other thing about the PS4 is it's basically got a Kinect coming with it. I think that's coming with or shipping with the console. I mean, with all the pictures of, if you look at PS4, you'll see a picture of a controller and a camera bar, and it's like, where's the console? But
yeah, no, we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I don't feel like the looks of the console are that important to me. I mean, everybody's like, oh, the Xbox looks like a box and it's terrible, but it's like, do you really care? I mean, it's gonna go on your shelf and nobody's really gonna talk about it. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, that Xbox really ugly,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but the PS4, like their whole like light bar and like the motion sensor, it seems more robust. It seems like there's more potential for it than the Kinect. I mean, Kinect, it seems like you just yell at it like, "Hey, bring me to Netflix," and it does it for you. So it seems like the PS4's got like more robust technology going on. That has a lot more potential than the Kinect in my eyes.
Even with the PS3, the Move, I don't own one, so I'm not really an expert on it, but I know that it could be really accurate with like even first-person shooters and whatever, and that's something that's not even possible on a Kinect. You can't play Call of Duty on your Kinect. There's no way. But you could play some PlayStation games with the Move controller in 3D, and that was actually kind of interesting. Though I never tried it out because I don't own 3D or a Move. So
yeah, I don't think the first-person shooter genre is ever gonna move on to having it built into Kinect, because I mean, your movement on a camera is never going to be as accurate as your thumb on a controller. So I don't think they're ever going to go that direction. But I mean, maybe it might be cool, but I don't think it'll ever go there.
Well, in the future, maybe like in some 100 years or so, maybe it'll be more accurate. But
yeah,
definitely not now. And like, the other thing is, if you're playing a shooter, you can't really emulate holding a gun if you don't have a gun in your hands. What is Call of Duty going to ship with its M16? Like,
yeah,
that's the gun you run around with. I mean, I don't know if that's any more immersive than it is now. I feel like that might take away from the immersion.
Yeah. So let's go back to the actual consoles themselves. But so like, let's say that neither consoles had exclusives. Which one would you pick then?
It'd be a much harder pick for me, because right now it's pretty much 100% PS4, just because I love the Uncharted series, and although they haven't confirmed an Uncharted game yet, I'm pretty sure there will be one along the lines or down the lines, and even if they didn't, they'd still have great games anyway. But anyways, the question's not what I want now. It's if they didn't have exclusives, and it'd probably still be the PS4, just because it'd come down to the company's philosophies for me, and I mean, I might get hate for this, but I'm not really a huge fan of Microsoft, and I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of Sony, but I'm less of a fan of Microsoft than I am of Sony. That's why I picked the PS4, if the exclusives did not matter.
Yeah, so like right now, as of now, I'd probably pick the Xbox just because they have Halo, and that would be an exclusive. But say they didn't have exclusives, both consoles had Halo, I'd probably end up picking the PS4, because if that had Halo, I'd for sure go for that. I mean, that'd be awesome. And plus, with what I was saying, like they have the touch bar and all that. Like that looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm excited to see what game developers and them do with it. So I can't wait to see what they do with those, because that's probably what I'm most excited with the PS4.
Yeah, because there's really no other discernible difference between the two, because essentially they have pretty much the same hardware. We don't know. I mean, we don't know what the PS3 is going to look like, but I mean, the looks aren't that important, I don't think, to either of us. The controllers, I mean, the PlayStation's trying to make theirs a little bit more like the Xbox, I feel like, because they kind of changed their controllers a little bit. They made them a little wider, you know.
Yeah, the thumbsticks are actually concave instead of convex. I mean, like, I hated the PS3 controllers. I honestly hated them because I always like had my thumb slipping off them because they had like a rounder side, and I like the Xbox ones because they mold to your finger. But now with the PS4 controller, I think they kind of caught up with it, and they're like, oh, people like this more, and so I think so they kind of caught up with it.
Definitely. I think I honestly, because the PS3 was the first console, or the first next-gen console I had, so I kind of didn't ever try an Xbox controller, and so I've always had that preference for the PS3 controller. So when they said they were changing up the controller a little bit, I kind of freaked out, but I kind of like what they're doing with the new one. I don't see anything wrong with the new controller. It looks enough like the old DualShock that it should feel like a PlayStation controller rather than like an Xbox clone.
Yeah, the Xbox controller. Yeah, the Xbox controller is generally the same. I mean, it looks like in the picture, it looks like it would be huge, but it's actually kind of the same size as it. They just kind of have a different shape. It looks like a little bit more wider, so like you can grip it better, I guess.
Definitely. I think what Microsoft did was basically they knew that nobody had ever in the history of their company complained about their controller, other than that maybe the original Xbox's controller was too big. So they basically just said, you know what, fuck it, we're going to release the same controller that looks slightly different, you know. So I think that was a smart move on Microsoft's part.
Yeah. So I think we're pretty much done with this dual commentary. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, like this video on both channels. That'd be freaking awesome. Though you don't have to if you don't want to. That's usually my philosophy. But if you disagree with us, agree with us, whatever, leave a comment telling us, you know, what you think. And if you haven't subscribed to KingIntensity or myself, Bahlockaye, please subscribe, unless you don't want to. And yeah, that's all for this video. See ya.
Alright, we'll see you guys later.